Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Man, I have been running around like a crazy man. I mean, seriously, doing shit. I've been to Fort Lauderdale twice. We went to a great event. It was actually a NFL players versus some veterans cook-off, and it was like Iron Chef and stuff. And my wife Tracy was actually one of the judges. I got actually a lot of footage that I have to edit, but I don't feel like editing today. I am, I am whooped, and tomorrow's gonna be another long day. Um, so people have been wondering, oh, where are you going to be, Mark? Want to meet up and things? Tomorrow morning, we have some free time before lunch. So I'm going to actually head down to South Beach and probably live stream a little bit down there in the morning. I know it's way early. If 9 o'clock in the morning for you in West Coast is 6 o'clock a.m. So I'm sure a lot of you guys will miss it, but I may do some street interviews and things, or we'll do something. We'll figure out some things that we'll do tomorrow, and then we'll be at NFL Experience probably about 1:30 or so. They open up at 3, so we'll be there until we have to leave to go to another event tomorrow night, which will be a pretty big one. Thursday. Thursday is a huge day. Thursday may change the course of history for the NFL. Thursday. What a lot of people don't understand is at the Super Bowl, it's a party. It's a celebration of everything that is the NFL. It is the farewell to the season. It is a celebration of all the great things in football, and it's a big ass party. But what a lot of people don't realize is the amount of work that gets done here at the Super Bowl. Because when you're making a business deal, you like to get people when they're happy, when they're partying, maybe when they've had a few to drink. So there's a lot of business that will transpire this week. And none bigger than the NFL and NFLPA. They've been working on the collective bargaining agreement. Jerry Jones has actually been leading the negotiations, much like Robert Kraft did for the last ones for the NFL. And of course, DeMar Smith with the NFLPA. The NFL wants something really, really bad, besides all your money and my money as well and everybody else's. They want to have a 17-game season. They're hell-bent on it. Now, if they have the 17-game season, they have a couple of things that they'll do a little differently. They'll add another bye week in there. They'll do away with 2 of the preseason games, which veterans don't play in the first one and the last one anyway. They will still have 8 home games, 8 away games, and then each team would have a neutral site game. So in places that there's not already football teams, like let's say Alabama, let's say in Canada, let's say Mexico, let's say Utah, they will pick alternate sites to have football games so that way they can expand that reach. If you go to a city that doesn't have a football team and you have teams play there, it's like they have a home team. And when you think about the amount of money that will bring into the NFL, of course you can see you're getting now not 1 but 2 extra weeks of football because you're adding another bye week. Even though your team may not play, you're still probably going to watch football. And so you're talking about billions more dollars going to the NFL, more money which is actually ready to be divvied up between the two, between the owners and the NFLPA. The NFLPA does not want that. The players have been adamant about, we do not want it. You listen to guys like Winston. You listen to guys like Calais Campbell. We don't want a 17-game season. It's hard enough to make it through 16 games. But generally speaking, when the NFL wants something, they play hardball. But the NFL will have to do something for the NFLPA to make it at least equitable. I'm betting marijuana being a controlled substance might go away. I'm just thinking that's one of those things that I know the Players Association would like to do away with. And that might be the little nugget that the NFL says, if you do this, you don't have to worry about testing for weed no more. Randy Gregory, come on down. Now, what's going to happen? The NFL owners, they're at one hotel. In fact, this hotel is setting up a huge tent between the hotel and the ocean. And tomorrow night, the owners have a big ass party. Big ass party. Party you just can't go to. They're going to be presenting their proposal to each one of the teams designated captain, or whatever you want to call them. And 2/3 of those, if they say yes, then it will be put to the players, to an individual vote on whether or not to accept it. The NFLPA tomorrow night has their NFL Players Association party. It'd be interesting to be a fly on the wall there to see what the scuttlebutt will be and the reaction to what the NFL is offering. Now, here's the thing. There were a lot of changes that were made the last time there was a collective bargaining agreement. One of the changes, of course, was they put a rookie wage cap in. Sam Bradford was the last quarterback that had that $50 million plus contract, fresh out of college. Literally stole about $125 million from the NFL. In that agreement, what they gave up was practice. Not games, not games now. We're talking about practice, because they changed the way they worked out. They had OTAs, then they had minicamp, then they had time off before training camp. They did away with 2-a-day practices. They could only do a walkthrough and a padded practice. And they could only have 15 padded practices before the season and only 11 padded practices during the season, of which case they have to be finished by week 11. You cannot have any padded practices after week 11. So when you look at guys coming back, missed training camp and, didn't play, were injured reserve, they're not practicing in pads full speed. And personally, I don't know this for a fact, but I remember back in the day when I didn't wear a leather helmet, having 2-a-day padded practices and a special teams padded practice in between, and hitting, doing Tennessee drills and everything else, hitting. We learned technique. We learned how to tackle. We didn't just try and be a guided missile leading with our head and doing headshots. We learned to get your head across the body, use your shoulder to wrap up and drive through the guy. And I honestly believe that the lack of practice from guys going from 0 to 60 on Sunday has actually added to those traumatic injuries. Your body's not used to it. You're not having the technique, and instead of tackling with form, you're just trying to knock a guy the F out. So tomorrow, friends, could be labor peace, or it could end up being labor war. It's awful quiet, but just like that earthquake that happened somewhere between Cuba and Jamaica, that thing might go off, and it may end up be the beginning of the labor strike / lockout. Might be labor peace. Don't know. But tomorrow, friends, You ain't heard him talking about it, but this is big, and it's going to affect everybody who watches football. I'm Mark Holmes, and well, I'm going to go in here and get me something to eat. Might try and do some editing, but I'll be downtown tomorrow. I still want to do street interviews, and maybe we'll do some of that at the NFL Experience. Just there's so many different things to do. There's a lot of different charitable events that are going on. Like I said, this was a fundraiser for veterans with United Way and Allied Kitchens. It's a great event. We had a blast. Yesterday, of course, the Character Playbook event. The messaging was incredible. And this is one of those things. You know, Kobe Bryant's wife spoke this evening, and briefly, or put out a message and talked about how hard it is, and I can't even fathom it. I'm blessed that I still have both my parents and have my kids and haven't had anything tragic like that happen. A lot of times you want to put out a message. You want to educate people, and that's one of the things that I always have tried to do with this channel. I like to have fun. I like to make people laugh, and I don't care if you laugh with me or if you laugh at me. The world is so serious. There's so many crazy things going on that we all need a reason or a way to just laugh, just to kind of change the narrative for a minute. And sometimes you do things that you feel like, this is it. This is the really good stuff. And I got to tell you, after meeting Kendrick yesterday, you really have to count your blessings. Kendrick Norton from the Miami Dolphins had it all. Drafted by the Miami Dolphins, defensive tackle, living his NFL dream. Living here where it's 70 degrees in the wintertime. And in a split second, that changed from a car accident. Because Kendrick was in an accident. His arm got pinned to the point where the only way they could save him was in the field at the accident to amputate his arm. Can you imagine that? You dreamed of growing up and playing for the NFL. You got it right there. You've been drafted by the Miami Dolphins. You're getting ready to go to training camp. And in a split second, you're in an accident and you lose your arm. Going to that event yesterday about character playbook. You lose so much. Sometimes you lose the will to go on. Meeting these guys and hearing the words they spoke, to me, was so inspiring. Especially after Kobe Bryant passing away. And that's when I put these clips together and I look at this and say, this is such a powerful message. That the things that these guys are teaching these young people, the fact that this man has lost his arm in his dream, has found the character and the will to turn it into something positive and give back to others. To me, that says everything about life and what a person's supposed to be. And the sad thing is we all want to hear the salacious story. We all want to hear about somebody, being trashed. We all want to see somebody going through hell. We never want to see the goodness. or the inspiration. And that's sad. It really is. Well, I just try and do what I can do. And I know I can't make everybody happy. But while I'm still here on this earth, I'm going to try. I'll see you guys later.